meditation will be a guided visualization meditation focused on the breath. And I'm going to read a little bit from Perfect Health by Deepak Chopra. And this actually comes from the epilogue. So after reading this whole book with my book club, I kind of forgot to read the epilogue and came back to it and was just blown away by what Deepak Chopra shares about breath. And so I'll read a few paragraphs from Flowers in a Quantum Field, the epilogue to Perfect Health. Most people assume without question that their bodies had a definite beginning and are moving inexorably toward a definite end. Each of us begin life as a single cell in the womb and will end up as dust unto dust. However, these are cultural beliefs, not absolute facts. The human body has no definite beginning or end. It is constantly creating itself again and again every day. This means that every minute is a kind of genesis and at the same time an ending in which we give up a bit of dust unto dust. If we are creating ourselves all the time, then it is never too late to begin creating the bodies we want instead of the ones we mistakenly assume we are stuck with. Every breath you take is a creative act. The molecules in the air are random and chaotic. If they happen to enter your body, they magically acquire a purpose and an identity. Could any act be more creative? Consider what happens to a single oxygen atom as you breathe in. Within a few thousandths of a second, it passes through the moist, nearly transparent membranes of the lungs. It immediately attaches itself to the hemoglobin inside one of your red blood cells. In an instant, a remarkable transformation occurs. The blood cell changes color from dark blue-black of the oxygen-starved hemoglobin to the bright red of oxygen-rich hemoglobin, and a stray atom of air suddenly becomes you. It has crossed the invisible boundary dividing the lifeless from the living. In another 60 seconds, that same oxygen atom will make a complete circuit of your body via the bloodstream. The journey takes only 15 seconds if you're exercising vigorously. In that time, about half the body's new oxygen will exit the blood to turn into a kidney cell, a bicep muscle, a neuron, or any other tissue. The atom will reside in that tissue anywhere from a few minutes to a year, performing as many functions as you are capable of. An oxygen atom might become part of a happy thought by linking into a neurotransmitter, or it might instead send a shiver of fear through you by joining a molecule of adrenaline. It could feed a brain cell with glucose or sacrifice itself on the battle line by becoming part of a white blood cell sent to attack invading bacteria. This is how the river of life, the river of the body, moves along with utmost fluidity, intelligence, and creativity. It becomes clear that our responsibility to ourselves is also creative. So lots of science in there. But what a little science lesson, as well as the spirituality behind it. Every breath you take is a creative act. So our meditation tonight will be visualizing those little molecules that are lucky enough to enter into us. Maybe lucky, maybe unlucky, depending on what they become, I suppose. Entering the body and allowing our innate creativity, our innate ability to heal ourselves, to take them through the circuit and create that happy thought, or the ability to move our arm or adjust our seat when we're uncomfortable. So with that in mind, just find a comfortable seat, maybe closing the eyes, maybe just gazing softly downward, allowing the vision to not latch on to any distractions. Begin to inhale a little more deeply and exhale a little more slowly. Feel the bones settle in, the muscles relax, the skin soften. And bring your awareness to the sensation of molecules of air entering through your nostril. So you take a deep breath in. This breath, this miraculous creativity. The breath which takes us from science to spirit. See if you can subtly notice the sensation of the breath drawing down the throat into the lungs, the subtle sensation of the lungs expanding into your ribs, the ribs expanding in your chest as it gently rises and falls on the exhale, allowing that exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide and all the other things along with it coming in, feeling, healing, filling, and exhaling, releasing, discharging, cleansing. Spend a few moments just with that imagery, those sensations. Every breath you take is a creative act. On your next breath in, imagine a molecule of oxygen entering through the nasal passages, becoming you, becoming a thought. Notice the emotion or memory, imagery, color of that thought. And then, just as it seemingly magically appeared, as you exhale, release and let go, releasing the awareness and understanding imagery of that thought. In your next inhale, all of the unsuspecting atoms that enter from oxygen to movement. Take a subtle little movement, maybe just a wiggle of the fingers or toes, flutter of the eyelids, releasing of tense muscles a little more, allowing that atom to fulfill its purpose of becoming part of you. And exhaling, letting go, coming back to stillness. Your next inhale takes oxygen to feeling, noticing where a large meeting of those oxygen atoms have become emotional or maybe physical, maybe both emotional, physical sensation somewhere in your body where you've been sensitive to, maybe in the heart center, just breathing into the sensations of what feeling means to you, to your body. Allowing that breath in to manifest its purpose. And exhaling, releasing the judgment of whether that feeling is good or bad, warranted or uncalled for, happy or sad, productive or distracting. Let's release that, letting it be what it is. Miraculous creation. Breathe in oxygen that becomes your growth. Though perhaps our physical growth may no longer be as noticeable, the growth of our spiritual connection, growth of our mindset, growth of our intellectual mind, maybe muscle growth, whatever that atom wants to grow in you, bring your awareness to that area. Feeling all the way up on you. And as you exhale, releasing, recognizing that part of growth is the letting go, the ending of one lesson, the closing of one door, so that we may enter the next. Breathe in oxygen, miraculously creating communication, both internal and external. What we say with our words, with our heart, with our eyes, bringing awareness to all the parts of us that express, that listen. Maybe you bring your awareness to the throat chakra, which is the center for communication. Maybe you find your awareness in another area. Breathe in there, almost as if you can feel the molecules joining in, becoming your way of sharing your story, connecting to others through theirs. Maybe this time taking an audible exhale out through the mouth, or any other sound or vibration through the vocal folds. even with, and especially with communication. That release, that output is the only way to be heard, be seen. Inhale a breath that transforms to healing, placing your awareness and maybe a hand somewhere on your body or on your heart where you feel an aching, pain, a hard lesson, an injury, an absence of a need. And breathe in, send those molecules as inner healing, regenerative force, warming or cooling. Receive from yourself, from the breath, a creative miracle of the love or support, the pain relief that you need. And then allowing the focus to the exhales, thanking the molecules that exit as your exhale. Gratitude for the healing, awareness, and change that they bring. A breath in, the random and chaotic air enters your body and joins the bloodstream, circulating throughout your whole being, from the gross body of veins and heart chambers, vessels, feeling alive. Though we are sitting still, though our eyes are closed, there's a pulsing or a vibration that continues as these molecules find that flow around us, within us, both science and magic. and completing their cycle with the exhale. As some enter the heart, others are pressed out. Breathing in. Another creative miracle of oxygen to your hands. They form and join the skin, the bones of the knuckles, the nails, the lines on your palms, all the things that you get to touch, to pick up, to move, to hold, were once just random, microscopic things, hard to even describe, floating around undetected in the atmosphere. Perhaps once someone else's exhale. Feeling the warmth, the hands, wherever they sit on your knees or on the chair arm. And then exhaling, letting that go. Inhaling a new genesis of breath that becomes you, beyond the physical body. So that is our foundation, our vehicle. Magical creativity of being a human being in this exact spot of this exact time with these exact fellow humans around us. That breath in becomes you. Spend the next few minutes inhaling into that concept without need to define or judge, wish differently, celebrate. Inhaling to you. it becomes clear that our responsibility to ourselves is also creative. We are placed here in this world to manage a project that is equivalent to building a new universe every day. You, as you exhale, releasing the spent oxygen as other molecules and atoms and sciencey things back out into the air around you. Exhaling all the beauty and function beyond the walls of where you sit, beyond the streets where you live, beyond the geopolitical lines and tangible boundaries. Exhaling the breath, exhaling ourselves as not in creation, but part of it. Not just a creation, but a creator. Allow yourself a couple more minutes of silence meditation, welcoming in the new random particles and sending them where you need healing, where you need movement, growth, better communication, maybe where you need more blood flow or more of whatever makes you, you. And then following the exhale back. I'll let you know when it's time to return to consciousness. Taking a final full deep breath, intaking as much air as your lungs can hold, holding it for just a moment at the top of the breath, and slowly exhaling, releasing the meditation, taking your time to welcome your senses back to your space.